What's up everyone, Sean here, and welcome to the Hawke Talks video about EVO itself, more particularly tips and tricks on how to optimize your trip while trying to get around the cost as much as you can. This video will help you out. This is coming from a perspective of a West Coast person going to spectate these tournaments anyway. So I've been going there since 2015, and I definitely have learned a lot of things along the way. So I wanted to spread that knowledge to you guys, and obviously I was inspired by Kenny, who made this subject, or who made a video on this subject, and I did provided my comments to help out when it comes to more tips and tricks or anything like that. So then I decided to make a video of my own, to add my own perspective on it, or my own twist on it. So that is kind of my reasoning. I also, it's another excuse to kind of test out the camera here that I got. It's a brand new camera, like I said before, the mirrorless camera from yours truly, Panasonic, which is a little new because I always stuck with Canon, but now I'm going to Panasonic for this particular one. Anyway, this is the GX85 for those who are curious. But anyways, back onto the actual subject. I digress. So as I said before, I will provide tips and tricks to help you guys optimize the trip itself, and also get around the costs while at that. So the first and most important trick, I guess, or tip you can do is bringing friends along. Having friends, going with you will automatically split costs by who God knows what. If you go with just one friend, it'll already split the cost by half when it comes to hotels and gas and stuff like that. The travel expenses. Obviously, you can't do that with flying. Yeah, I mean, sure, it is the fastest way and smoothest way to get there, but splitting is not a thing. So, but you do get what you pay for, obviously. So, if you plan to pay more on the low end, you're gonna have to take the car. But yeah, if you go with a car with friends, they'll help you with the gas and stuff. Especially if you have 3 more people with you, that'll be pretty much like the right amount for the car ride. Because obviously, if you have that 5th dude or person or whatever, they'll have to stick to the back, and they'll be kind of squished for 4 to 5 hours depending on traffic. So yeah, 4 is the optimal number, but do whatever you can, and no matter what, it'll definitely help you with the cost. Same with not only with gas, of course, but with the hotel expenses as well, and other such things that come along the way. So by doing that, not only you're cutting costs, though, you're also upping the fun factor, because you all get to go out, hang out for the entire weekend for Vegas, which is where EVO takes place anyway. So yeah, never forget that you're in Vegas, so might as well make the most of your trip. So by being there with friends, it'll make it a lot better, trust me, for cost and fun factor. Whatever you guys want to plan, that's up to you guys. That's up to your discretion, but please always be careful, because it is, again, Vegas. You never know what happens there, and the saying, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So yeah. So yeah, just, be careful, stay cautious, and have each other's backs. So yeah, having friends also ups the safety factor as well, in a way. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2. So the next trick or tip is a lot more simple. It involves with water. Water can be very expensive or ridiculously expensive for EVO. Or just Vegas in general. But EVO is definitely a time where you need some water too, especially, and they can cost some ridiculous amounts. Like a bottle of water can cost you at least $5, even $7. I've seen a tiny little bottle for $5, which is ridiculous at times. And people got very upset over that. This time around, EVO is providing water, according to Mr. Wiz or Joey on Twitter, but we really never know how much water they're preparing for us. So it's always good to prepare, your own water for yourself, you definitely want to bring some sort of thermo or plastic bottle of some kind that you can like put water in there easily. And if let's say you stayed at a hotel, this is where the tip comes in. If you stayed at a hotel, whether it's the Mandalay Bay, Excalibur, Caesar's Palace, or anything like that, if there is a Starbucks within the vicinity, you can go up to the employees of Starbucks with your bottle of whatever, not just like a cheap plastic bottle of water from like Arrowhead or something. You have your own actual like thermo or like a plastic bottle of water you take for camping or something like that. If I haven't said already, they will have no problem filling that up with their own water at no cost. So you can get free water at Starbucks in a way, as long as you have your own bottle with you. I definitely would recommend bringing a plastic clear bottle of water, because it could be like blue, red, or something like that, as long as it's obviously water, a water bottle of some kind. Bringing some sort of metal bottle, and I know a lot of thermos are metal, so there are like double layered plastic bottles or something like that, that can do the job as well when it comes to keeping the temperature of the water. But it definitely will help with security. I don't know what they're gonna do for security, so that's another tip, I guess. Within a tip is to, if you're gonna bring a bottle of water, make it clear. It could be colored, but it should be transparent or something, so they know it's like water right away. And they'll probably know if it's alcohol, because obviously it'll smell. So don't bring alcoholic drinks, just bring water. So yeah, but you can get it for free at Starbucks. They'll just fill it up with you, for you, no problem. So just go up to the like a to-go counter and just ask for water. That's it. So it might get a little busy, so just be patient. They'll get to you and they will get that water for you. So again, you can get free water at Starbucks as long as you have your own safe bottle of water. Try not to bring it metal, just for security reasons, because I have no idea how they're going to do security, so you never know. So anyway, that's the other tip. My next tip is involving with the living side of things. So in the past I did stop at hotels, but now there is a better way to kind of stay at the weekend at Vegas, particularly, and that is Airbnbs. Airbnbs are pretty much like houses that you can rent for a certain amount of time. You have everything that you need for amenities and stuff like that. You have all the amenities of a house, including a shower, washing machines, fridge, microwave, cooking equipment, stuff like that. Stove, whatever. You have everything that a house has. Pretty much what your house has. But you're renting it like it's as if it's a hotel. It's really easy to process, especially if you have the app or do it online. Airbnbs is my personal go-to because, again, you have all this stuff for a house, but it's treated like it's a hotel. And in a lot of times, they are cheaper than your typical hotel. Sometimes it can cost around like $100 per night, depending on where you choose, when you choose, and make sure that it's near the Mandalay Bay. That's where EVO takes place. So that's pretty much my primary tip. The only thing is that you want to get it early, because people already kind of figured that out, I guess. So people tend to try to get these Airbnbs, or like, these people aren't even necessarily there for EVO. They're just there for Vegas. People just tend to grab these Airbnbs because they're just so enticing and stuff like that. Had such great deals, and again, you have all the amenities of a house and stuff, including Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is such a wonderful thing during the weekend, especially when you have friends from across the states and you want to play games and stuff like that, or go take it online and play against other people and stuff like that, or just browse on the internet, or watch streams, or watch EVO finals at the comfort of your own place. If you don't want to go to EVO Finals live, I do understand that. It's, it can be expensive, so yeah, might as well, be very comfortable. You can, sit around with friends in a private little home for the weekend and enjoy your stay that way. So not only that, you are saving around some costs. Now, what about getting to the hotel? Wouldn't that cost that much more? Well, if you take the Uber or Lyft, since they're not that far from the hotel or the Mandalay Bay, it's not going to actually cost you that much anyway. So, if anything, you're just paying as much as the hotel, if not less, depending on what kind of deal you get with the Airbnb and stuff, and what kind of circumstances you are in. So, all in all, I think you're better off doing Airbnbs because hotels don't really offer that much. They don't offer Wi-Fi. You have to pay it per night, so it's really, really annoying that you have to go through that. And also, hotels, especially if you're rooming with a lot of people, don't exactly have that much room per cost. Yeah, especially if you just get a standard room. It's like, what, 2 beds? You got 2 guys, I mean, yeah, you can share beds and all if you guys are, if you guys are really, chill about it. But the room itself is pretty cramped. It's pretty small. Especially if it's more than 4 people. It can be a problem. And make sure you bring some air mattresses and stuff like that. So again, Airbnbs are very much the way to go. Next tip involves with food. This one's a little harder to do because there's a lot of places to eat. Obviously, you guys, a lot of you guys anyway, when you go to Vegas, you guys have like predestined plans of like what places you want to go and stuff like that, and that will vary the cost. So I don't blame you guys. It is Vegas. It is like one of those times where you're only in Vegas for this time around, so you want to make it count. You want to go to certain places and stuff. Now, and I won't, judge you guys on that. But for those who kind of want to know where are some good places to eat and stuff like that, when it comes to like cost to, I guess, taste ratio, Earl of Sandwich is one of them. They offer submarine sandwiches. They're really good. There's a pretty good amount of it for like $10 or something like that. It's actually not that expensive. And it will fill you up. So it's like a standard cost of a meal, and it'll definitely fill you up, and it doesn't taste bad. So yeah, it is, definitely more than decent, I would say. It's one of my go-to places for like sandwiches in Vegas. There's actually also an In-N-Out. For those who don't live in the West Coast, In-N-Out is a burger place that's more popular in California or other places in the West Coast. If you guys want to also save on costs when it comes to food, In-N-Out is another place to go, because they tend to be pretty dirt cheap when it comes to that. And you get a pretty good amount of food too at that. So if you guys are in the mood for burgers, In-N-Out is definitely the way to go. They definitely have that classic flavor of a burger. So if you guys are familiar with some American style burgers, In-N-Out is pretty much the way to go. Whether West Coast burgers are better than East Coast burgers or all the way around, that's like the last thing you want to think about, because when it comes to that argument, you probably want to put that aside and just get that food in your stomach, man, because like that's an important thing. Another good place to really go to is like all you can eat barbecue places, because there are places where you just pay $20 and you just get unlimited amount of food. I forget honestly where a particular place I go to, but if you do your research on Yelp, it honestly will be easy. You just pick a place when it comes to Korean barbecue places, and definitely it'll be worth it once you get there and stuff. Now, yeah, sometimes it may be full, but just be patient. You'll get a spot, and once you get there, oh, it is heaven. It is such a good way to like kind of sign off for EVO. It's like a good last day meal sort of thing. So yeah, Korean barbecue is definitely one way to do it too. All you can eat, especially. I hear that all you can eat buffets. Speaking of which, when it comes to all you can eat stuff, at I think it was no, not Little Caesars, Caesar's Palace. Little Caesars is a pizza place I'm thinking of. Caesar's Palace is one of them, I believe. But don't quote me on that. You probably want to go to Kenny's video on that one. But another place to eat, well, there is White Castle. White Castle is the burger place that's only on the East Coast side. So if you want to get a taste of the East Coast or what the East Coast experience, White Castle is kind of the way to go, I guess. They're pretty cheap. They're kind of like easy to eat too. So if you're for some reason aren't feeling that hungry, but you want to like fill up with something, White Castle is definitely like easy to put down and stuff. So because they're like tiny burgers, so yeah, it's they're like sliders, one slider at a time, or you can get a big ass combo or whatever. So yeah, that's another way to do it. They're also, I think, the White Castle is right next to the Casino Royale, and the Casino Royale is one of the only places that have a bar that serve $1 beer. I think I could be wrong, but yeah, that's some of the places, a lot of the places that come to mind when it comes to like food that kind of get around the cost and stuff like that to help you with your wallet. So, but if you plan to kind of go all out, it's like one of those like when in Rome sort of situations. Wicked Spoon is definitely one of them. They do serve some really good prime rib, pork shoulder as well. It is around $50, $56, I think, but it's definitely worth it. It's really good. Went there once during my most recent bachelor party for a friend, and got to try it out for the first time, and I was pleased with it. I stuffed my face, and I was super full after that. Oh. Anyway, that's some of my food sort of experiences with EVO. But yeah, I think that's all I got for when it comes to like the tips that really come to mind. So therefore, they're like my most important tips to you guys. So 1, go with a friend. 2, get water from Starbucks. And 3, Airbnbs are the way to go. And 4, food, which is a little more flexible. It's more of like up to you guys sort of thing, because there are places that are only in Vegas and once in a lifetime sort of opportunities for some people, so, or once in a year sort of opportunities for people. So that's more up to you guys. That's more of like where your guys' research comes in as well. That's pretty much all I got for tips for EVO for right now. Maybe I'll do a part 2 when I remember more tips, but this is like the more important ones I got. So anyway, if anyone has more tips on EVO and stuff like that, how to cut costs while optimizing and stuff like that, leave it down below. More tips are always helpful when it comes to stuff like EVO and stuff like that. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you like the video, and all that fun stuff. Really helps out, and I highly do appreciate it. And don't forget to check me out on Twitter, Twitch, all the social media stuff in the description below, along with my sponsorship with Loot Crate and Into the AM. Those are more ways to support the channel further, and again, really do appreciate that. So this has been the Hawke Talks on tips and tricks on EVO itself in Vegas. So but most importantly, have fun and stay safe. And if you're 21, that's when you can drink. And that's, where you got to be a little careful, but yeah, you can still have fun. So yeah. Anyway, thanks guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.